Oakland. John Mara and Steve Tisch, co-owners of the New York Football Titanics, the $3.3 billion disaster that keeps smashing into a bigger iceberg each week, couldn't get the hell out of the black hole fast enough. Mara and Tisch made a left turn after leaving the Giants' locker room, walked up a tunnel, made another left and then a kick right down a hallway to a flight of stairs leading into the parking lot. They refused to even offer a no comment to an ESPN report that Ben McAdoo could be fired as soon as Monday. "Thanks for coming. Drive home safely." They did hold a 15-minute power summit with each other on the sideline in front of the Giants bench before the game, in which they presumably decided whether they would fire McAdoo this week or wait another few weeks until after the season. Not offering even a statement increased the speculation a move could come very soon. GM Jerry Reese will likely be spared until the season ends. The Giants are 210 after their 2,417 loss to the Raiders. They are headed to 214, which would be their worst record since 11-21 in 1966. After sitting for the first time since the ninth game of his 2004 rookie season, Eli Manning cleared up some issues after the game. The two-time Super Bowl MVP said he doesn't want McAdoo to get fired. Theron W. Henderson, Getty Images, plans on playing in 2018, whether it's with the Giants or another team. Wants to get through the last 4 games and then see what then happens before deciding if he can return to the Giants next season. "It's only a matter of time for McAdoo," after Mara said last week that there is no guarantees in life, when asked if he would finish out the season. McAdoo could be gone this week in an attempt to preempt and defuse any protests by an angry crowd at Sunday's home game against the Cowboys after McAdoo bungled the benching of Manning last week. It was a strange sight to see Manning listening to the play calls with earplugs and pacing the sidelines, with the offense on the field. His team has been taken away from him, but he has been more emotional than bitter. The day officially became surreal when Geno Smith ran out with the first-team offense. Smith celebrated by playing fairly well despite reminders he is still Geno Smith, the turnover machine, with 2 lost fumbles in Raiders territory, the second inside the 10. Manning sat with Smith and offensive coordinator Mike Sullivan between series and stood expressionless when the offense was on the field. He didn't intend to speak to the media after the game, but after seeing a crowd around his locker, he decided to hold court. Even though Big Blue Nation is furious with McAdoo, it was not surprising Manning had his coaches back amid the reports that his firing is imminent. "I don't want that," Manning said. "I don't want anybody to get fired. When a coach gets fired, it's usually because the team and the players and myself haven't performed up to our duties. So I don't want to see that. So I hope there's no truth to it." Marcio Jose Sanchez Ap Smith earned another start next week, so Manning will continue to sit, unless a coaching change is made and interim coach Steve Spagnuolo or Mike Sullivan switch back to him. If McAdoo remains, rookie Davis Webb will probably get into a game before Manning. In any event, Manning is not going to retire after the season. Even though he's made close to $200 million in his career and is healthy and has a wife and 3 young daughters, he does not want to call it quits. "I asked him if he plans to play, whether it for the Giants or another team. I plan on playing next year, yes," he said. Have the events of the last week made him reassess whether he wants to finish his career with the Giants? "No," he said. "I'm going to finish out this season and see what happens." Manning's benching has one unintended consequence: it has enhanced his standing with Giants fans. It's disingenuous to now say Manning has been embraced for his entire 14-year career. In fact, he is loved for his 2 incredible Super Bowls runs, but he has not won a playoff game in any other season and taken a lot of criticism from fans over the years. Gary Myers, New York Daily News. But McAdoo's clumsy execution of a plan Mara encouraged and endorsed to evaluate Smith and Webb has turned Manning into a sympathetic figure. He has received an incredible amount of support around the league and from ex-teammates. It even had like his voice was about to crack talking about all those who have contacted him. The amount of people that reached out to me this week, the importance of being a teammate really kind of hit it home. Just through the fact that all the old teammates that have reached out to me, called, I appreciate their support," he said. "I appreciate the things they say and it's kind of helped me get through these tough days." but it reminded me I need to be a good teammate to everybody here and do my part. It was Manning's first extensive comment since the benching. McAdoo approached Manning with the idea of continuing to start, with Smith starting the second half against the Raiders. He wanted no part of it. I don't blame anybody for the way it was handled. I think Coach McAdoo tried to do something right by me by saying he will let you play, but just knowing I was coming out of the game, I couldn't play that way. I appreciated it, Manning said. I thought he was trying to do me a favor. But it's just not the way I could go into a game, knowing I would be pulled out. No coach in the Giants' 93-year history has lasted less than 2 seasons. McAdoo was in his second season. Ray Handley was fired in 1992 after 2 seasons. The Giants have not fired a coach mid-season since 1976, when Bill Arnsparger was let go 7 games into his 3rd year. The Giants were 0-7 and overall Arnsparger was 728. Leroy Andrews, in 1930, was the only other coach the Giants have ever released during the season. Jim Fassel preempted the Giants firing him in 2003 by announcing with 2 games remaining he would resign at the end of the season. The Giants were 410 and then lost their last 2 games. McAdoo was not going to surrender like Fassel. I'm going to coach this team as long as my card key works, he said. He may not know until he shows up for work Monday morning.